Oh, hello, everybody. Thanks for joining. There we go. Broadcasting to you live from the Orion spiral arm of the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, somewhere outside of Seattle, Washington, to be pseudo-specific. My name's Brian Engelman. Today is Wednesday, February 11th, 2026. And this right here, the thing that you are watching is called... Oh, I guess I should probably switch to the unhappy hour. This thing that you're watching is called Strictly Football here on the New American Media. I'll put the flag right side up this time because the old American media has failed you. On today's show, we are going to do a recap of the Super Bowl. I think two people in this group are going to be very excited when we bring in Jim Mitchell, Mike Barra, and Ezrael Robinson. Of course, we're going to discuss the dueling halftime shows, maybe some of the personnel moves. David Njoku says he's not coming back to the Browns. I didn't even mention Todd Monken getting the head coaching position on our last show because it was all out of sync and we were all just focused on the Super Bowl. I'd like to maybe mention that and maybe what that means, see what the guys have to say about it. And of course, a rest in peace moment to one of our actors that we grew up watching and played a very key football role in one of the more iconic football movies ever made. It's top 100 football movies. If it's not top 20, if it's not top 10 or more, we'll tell you about that on the other side. But hit like, hit subscribe, share the show with the friend because Strictly Football starts now.
Hi, this is Eric Metcalf, and you're watching Unhappy Hour.
New American Media is proud to present a division of the Unhappy Hour sports show, Strictly Football. It's the Unhappy Hour.
Thank you all so much for being here. Let's welcome in all of the players, Mr. Mike Barra and Jigba.
Just watching the Seahawks parade here on my phone, so maybe we'll get some blitz in there. I don't know. There they are, walking around the streets.
Nice. I just shared a clip where one of the guys says, "If you got something to say about my quarterback, about my defense, or about my team, I got two words for you."
Or my city, yeah. Fuck you. Yeah, that was Ernest Jones. Doing that. So
yes. Mike, have you ever been to a Super Bowl parade?
I did not make the previous one. I was living in LA at the time, and I'm living in Vegas this time. But it's it was the first Super Bowl parade in 2013, 2014 was like 35 degrees or something. It was really cold, 33, and this one is not quite as cold. But I'm sorry I missed it. But hey, maybe next time. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm a Cleveland fan. I've only celebrated one professional championship in my lifetime. That was the 2016 Cavaliers, and I flew in from LA to. I said as soon as we win our first of my lifetime, I said I'm flying in for it. I flew in for it. We went to the parade. It was a great time.
Yeah.
And then there was a shooting and a stampede, and this is at the height of all of the attacks across Europe. So it was a very strange thing, but it was just an isolated incident. Had a great time. Regardless,
it's Cleveland, but you got to celebrate when you get the chance, right? So.
Yeah, it might be the only one I'll ever get. Jim Mitchell and Jigba, welcome, sir. Congratulations. How are you doing?
Good, Brian. How are you doing?
I mean, I'm not doing as well as you guys. I mean, congratulate. Like, we have documented this season for you perfectly. Like, you can go back to all 30 episodes, this being our number 30 on season 2. I mean, every step of the way, we've got all of us breaking down the Seahawks, breaking down what happened and the whole story arc of the season. It's an exciting time. I'm excited for you guys.
The only mistake we made is we didn't make a futures bet in September.
Yeah, hell, July when I made. I mean, I did make quite a bit of money off my division winning bet and my over under bets, but
you did.
But not what I would have made if I just put another 100 on
Not
winning
your,
a Super Bowl.
not your coin toss bet either.
Yeah, well.
Well, let's do this. Let's welcome in Ezrael Pickens, Ezrael Robinson. Thank you for joining us. Maybe you can lead with telling us about your bet. You had a bet and you did okay, right? What did you do?
Yeah, it was like a 6 or 7 leg parlay, and it hit. I chose the Seahawks to win, and some other player, Ramondre cashed out for me like last second. I scratched the whole bet off like
Did
first
Ramondre
quarter,
score a touchdown?
second.
Was he the guy?
Yeah,
Who scored?
Ramondre
Yeah.
anytime touchdown. And he
Wow.
scored. I put on my phone and I saw he scored at like the last second. I'm like, oh snap! There's no way. Let me check. And
That's,
You know,
yeah,
last
that's
summer.
the play they reviewed 15 times to see if it actually the toe of the football touched the turf.
It did
Yeah,
not touch.
yeah, he went in.
yeah. So I mean, you can say I got lucky. I mean, that's betting. So
We were trying to get
Never know.
Ramondre on the show last week. Jim knows his mom and came close, but maybe we'll try to get it for next off season and tell him you made my buddy some money.
Yeah,
Super Bowl, pal.
I think we should do that. That'd be fun. We should try to get as many NFLers on the show next year as possible.
Yeah, Izzy, I think you should
Just an update on the parade.
scratch out 10% to Ramondre. I'm sure he needs the money.
yeah,
Yeah.
special cut out a
Yeah,
check for him.
he only got $35 million this year or whatever it was to play running back. Or
Speaking of the money that you got paid to play running back, I do want to talk about James Vanderbeek from Varsity Blues. We'll get to that in a second, but there was a weird story that came up. Maybe I'll start with Mike on this. Did you read the report that said it cost Sam Darnold to go work and win the Super Bowl because of the taxes that he had to pay? He earned money for playing in the Super Bowl, but he had to pay more in taxes than he earned.
He earned $178K, but because of his regular salary and playing in the Super Bowl, he ended up having to pay like $234,000 in taxes for playing in California. Now, he's not the only one. Everybody had to pay taxes, but it just shows you, I mean, if it was me, if I was him, I'd just say to California, I would not let them take it out of my taxes on withholding if I could stop that, and I just tell them to go chase a rolling donut. But I don't live in California, so fuck you. But it's bad. It's a loophole. Players should not have to pay taxes in states they don't live in. So it brings up all my libertarian Ayn Rand, sort of Atlas Society vibes, and gets me going when I read.
Let me relay this a little bit, guys. Here's another travesty. If you are a employee of the Los Angeles Police Department, LAPD, right, and you retire, which most of these guys, they flee the state as soon as they retire. And LAPD, I mean, it's a pretty lucrative. I mean, they pay their officers well, and they've got good benefits and everything. In their retirement, if you go to a state, say like Nevada, New Hampshire, Washington, Texas, Florida, those are all states that have no state income tax. You are still paying state income tax on your retirement to the state of California because you're drawing a retirement check from California. That's a travesty.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's the same analogy, Mike.
Yeah.
You should. I would just tell them, you know what, come and get it.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, if it's being paid from California, they can probably cut it off. So I think you're kind of screwed if it's coming out of California.
Yeah, it's called garnishing your wages.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, the whole system needs to be. Income tax itself is immoral, along with property tax. And unconstitutional, as far as I'm concerned. But
how much
those are other issues for other days and other shows.
Yeah, don't get me started with property tax.
Yeah.
Well, it's a huge issue in Ohio with Vivek. It's one of the main things that they're talking about now. And just if you buy a home and you own it, why do you have to rent it for? Like, you own it, you're done. Like, I don't know, but yeah, we'll talk about that on other shows, I guess. But that's always been a major thing. When a free agent goes to, what are the states that don't have income? Florida, obviously.
Florida, Texas, Washington.
Texas, Washington. So anybody who plays
New Hampshire
and Nevada.
New Hampshire and Pennsylvania. If you're over the age of 62, you don't pay income tax on your retirement. in Pennsylvania, believe it or not. You know,
That
which is a big red state.
But
Guys,
that's just an
Ramondre had to get by on just about $3 or $4 million this year. A little over three.
Yeah, because he pays taxes in the great state of Massachusetts.
Oh yeah, I'm sure his take home was a lot less than three, like 1.5 or 2, but still, yeah, he did okay.
well,
Now, if they relocated the Patriots, the New England Patriots, to the state of New Hampshire, he
Yeah.
wouldn't be paying state income tax.
There you go. So,
well, I mean, as far out as Gillette Stadium is, I don't know if you guys have ever been, but I mean, it's far out from Boston. It's a bit of a hike. Why not just take it to New Hampshire?
But it's not as far as Santa Clara is from San Francisco, but
That's
I get you drift.
a little out there. Well, I want to get into the game, of course, and then talk about the dueling halftime shows and the nuts and bolts of what happened. But first, I just want to say rest in peace to James Vanderbeek. You know him from Dawson's Creek and of course Varsity Blues. He played. Hang on, I had it pulled up here. Yeah, he was Mox. It was a 1999 movie. Jonathan Moxon. And he was the backup quarterback that was thrust into the lead role. And colon cancer took him out. Rest in peace to him and his fans and family, of course. I guess he had 6 kids. I don't know, guys. Mike? Did you
Mormon or Catholic?
6 kids.
Jeez. Did you figure out what caused it at some point? What was causing the kids? Or
How old was he?
40.
Was it 40?
40.
48?
Wow.
Yeah, I think so.
Born in
Yeah,
70.
48.
I think what caused it is
You wouldn't think about getting colon screening at that age.
yeah. Well, the thing is,
40.
look, you don't know how many of these guys took the jab, and that's the first. Whenever I see someone dying young, especially in the last 5 years, you look at the jab. I mean, Hank Aaron, Colin Powell, Marvin Hagler, all these guys. Oscar De La Hoya almost died from the jab, and I'm just going to say it out loud. A lot of them were poisoned, and some of them weren't, but very, 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 very deleterious to people's health.
And that's where I'll tell you under duress for countervailing views on health and elections, go to cdc.gov, who.int, and cisa.gov/rumor control so that we can keep our YouTube channel because they think we're idiots and we're not allowed to talk about important.
A bit off topic, talking about colon cancer. Have you guys seen a bit of the cancer breakthroughs some of the other countries are making?
Yeah.
This whole week.
Yeah. It's been like the whole month.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, I don't know if it's because we left the WHO or because the Epstein files are out, but now all the cancer cures seem to be popping out. You go, I don't know what that's regarding.
Oh, damn, they cut away from the lumbar.
Yeah, I think it's like colon cancer, pancreatic cancer, and some bit of leukemia. So it's a big going around. Yeah.
Canadian doctor, Dr. William Mackus, who uses Menben, Fenben, and ivermectin, and has a fantastic success rate with these. So,
We got Regina on that yet, Mike?
I'm trying to get Regina on that. Yeah,
we covered all that on the TNAM Daily Show today. Make sure you check out the TNAM Daily Show on the New American Media at noon Eastern. We cover all this stuff, and I don't know if it's because we left the WHO and now I don't know what the correlation.
Yeah, like is there suddenly some lid is lifted and you can talk about this stuff now?
Yeah, I don't know. But talking about the Varsity Blues, just around the horn, Mike, did you watch Varsity Blues?
I never did. No.
Oh, really?
I just remember the girl, the ad of the girl in the shaving cream, right? Which I was a married man at the time, and yes, my wife did that to me, so I was like, that's awesome.
Oh, it was whipped cream. Yeah, I saw an interview of that actress talking about that.
That was Herb Alpert's album cover.
Yes, in the Tijuana Brass.
1966, whipped cream. Yeah,
there you go.
That was the best album cover. Yeah.
Jim, did you watch Varsity Blues? Have you ever? It's one of the better football. It's a great football movie.
Never did. My favorite football movie is North Dallas 40.
That's a good one. That's a good one. And then the The original, what was the Burt Reynolds movie that Adam Sandler remade?
Longest Yard.
Longest Yard. The original Longest Yard. The second Longest Yard is pretty good, but the original was spectacular because it just shows you, like, how much more vicious football was back in the 70s than it is now, among other things.
Brian, I watched the first half of Draft Day. That wasn't a bad movie.
We finished it.
I like the way they did that.
God.
Yeah, it's all right, Sonny.
Until it gets into the actual trading part, and you're like, really?
Yeah, the first negotiation he has was with the Seahawks.
Yeah,
right.
That's right. Who had the #1 pick? Yeah.
No, but I mean, when it comes to football movies, this was a good one. You guys, maybe it's a generation after you were caring about football movies as much. Izzy, it's probably before you started watching football. Did you ever watch Varsity Blues?
Never heard of it.
All right. Well, gentlemen, I'm going to put this out to all three of you, and I'm going to put it out to all the viewers. Hit like and subscribe, by the way.
It's a 90s football movie. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Hey, I wanted to share, before we get into the nuts and bolts,
Sure.
I wanted to share one other thing, which is an ad that I believe was made for the Super Bowl. I'm not sure if it aired, but I came across it, and it features the Beast, Marshawn Lynch. Can I share that, Brian, on the screen?
If you pull it up, I will try to.
Right.
Now, by the way, I have been dinged on YouTube for copyright for sharing a commercial. I got dinged for copyright.
It's off my Instagram. Let's just see what happens.
We'll give it a shot. Let's.
Are we going to get dinged, Brian, if Mike and I bring Marshawn in as a guest one day?
Will he bring his Skittles?
All right. Let me get to the story.
I like that. That's pretty cool. Can't show anything with NFL. I don't think I saw it.
Ooh, last one.
Just hand it to me, and I'll run it over to him.
Nah, I'll toss it to him.
Just hand it to me. No need to throw it, man. Come on.
Nah, it's really easy. I'll just throw it to him. He'll catch it.
Come on, man. We so close. I could run it over. It's just right here.
I just want a beer.
Come on, man. I can sleepwalk that thing to him, but come on, man.
All right. I think I'm gonna throw it. What's the worst that can happen?
Oh, I
Catch! What? No! Time up! Oh! Whoa. Ah! 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 I'm on fire! I'm burning! Help! Ah!
That's why you run.
I'm burning! Oh!
That's why you
Fire! Still think it was the right call.
All right. I get it.
So, by the way, we got 1 million views on my interview with AJ from the Wi-Fi.
That's
Awesome.
your typical white guy, dumb white guy commercial.
He's like, no, man, I'll just run it right over to him. No, I'll just run it right to him. No, I think I'm going to throw it. What's the worst that could happen?
But I did share something on the TNM Daily Show last week. It was some friend set someone on fire at their own backyard party, and he just ran around, and he got seriously hurt. Are they not teaching stop, drop, and roll? You're supposed to stop, drop, and roll, and people aren't doing that anymore.
Dick Van Dyke used to teach that. I mean, he's still alive. He's 100 years old.
Izzy, did you ever learn if you catch on fire, you stop what you're doing, you drop to the ground, and you roll around and get the fire out? Have you heard that?
I think you taught me that.
Yeah. First thing you do is you jump in a swimming pool.
That's fun. Now, Izzy and I probably
not a
had
saltwater pool, though. Yeah, you guys remember Richard Pryor? Izzy, you probably don't know who Richard Pryor is, but you should look him up on YouTube and any service you can see some of his concert movies. You should watch him. He's not only hilarious, but he's pretty brilliant. But one of the things he said is when he said, what I noticed, he goes, when you are on fire, people will get out of your way.
Get out of your way. Yeah.
Mitch Hedberg has a joke. He goes, yeah, man, I was standing at a concert the other day, and the security guy came over and said, hey, man, you got to move. You're blocking the emergency exit. I said, why do I have to move? He said, well, if there's a fire, you'll be blocking the door. Yeah, as if I would stand in front. I forget the punchline to it. But he's like, if you're flammable and have legs, you are never blocking the door. You will run through the door. You're never blocking it.
Wow, Mike McDonald actually drinking a beer. That's unusual. Yeah.
Marion says 12 Mighty Orphans was a great movie and a great book to read, too. Right. And I will say that. Question of the day, what's your favorite football movie? Type it in your comments. We'll try to pop them up on the screen there. Favorite movie regarding football. Rest in peace, James Vanderbeek. Please go watch Varsity Blues. It's a fun, good movie. It's worth the watch.
Yeah.
Hey, Hey, but before we get to the nuts and bolts again, what do you feel about Kubiak leaving your team now? Is this going to be tough for the repeats?
Well, yeah, because I didn't always agree with the play call, but the design of the offense was terrific, and the design of the plays. There were times I thought he should run when he passed, but you disagree with your OC all the time on that. He was very successful here, and you always got to wonder, is the next guy going to be 80% as good as Kubiak, which is probably good enough, or is he going to be 30% as good, or is he going to suck altogether? You just don't know, so. It's a concern. Of course it is. Look at the Eagles. The Eagles, everybody was talking about them repeating, and then they lost their 2 coordinators, and they were not nearly as good offensively as they were last year. So, Of course it can affect things dramatically. So, you got to be concerned, but there's a reason why it's happening. It's because you won the fucking Super Bowl. So, okay. If you asked me at the beginning of the year, would you take a Super Bowl win but have to give up Kubiak? I'd be like, yeah, where do I give you the money for that? So, yeah, of course you would.
Kenneth agrees, Longest Yard, the original. That's one of his favorite football movies. All right. Well, let's get into it. Let's talk about the game, shall we? You bet what on the coin flip to start the game?
I bet tails. It was heads. I had a bet on Hunter Henry, the longest yard, to be the first guy to score a touchdown. That would have paid me $1,300 if Hunter Henry.
I was looking at the odds on the first touchdown. I'm like, wow, some of these are crazy.
Yeah, so next year maybe put 20 on all of those.
Mike's worried about being considered a degenerate, and he bets on the coin toss.
Yeah,
I was going to bet on a commercial. They had commercials on there.
They had commercials on stuff.
Like what company do you think is going to get advertised during the Super Bowl?
I think that's knowable, though. A lot of that's known. They release a list of who's going to be doing that.
I think it's like but it's like mainly during the Super Bowl. They have a list of names.
Oh, okay.
And then one more thing. There's this one guy. I think this is his 3rd year in a row. I wish I could pull up the Twitter post, but he bet on himself. I think it was like $40,000 to streak. He streaked the field and he cashed out for like $300,000.
Yeah, that's what they say, is that the guy bet, like you said, if it's $50,000 that there would be a streaker, and then he had a guy. There was a guy, a
decoy.
Like a decoy.
Yeah.
He jumped over. Security rushes to him, and then the guy jumps on the field and streaks. And yeah, that's what they're saying, is that he bet $50,000 on there being a streaker, and then he was a streaker, and he ended up collecting. So,
I think he had some stuff like written on him too. I think one of them said like insider trading or something crazy like that. Because he bet on himself. So
well, that was weird because we were watching the game, and it was this weird pause. They came back like they were about to go back to the game, and then they went back to commercials again, and we're like, "What the fuck's going on?" And we later found out it was a streaker, and so yeah, good for that guy.
Mike had a conspiracy with that glitch in the video. Mike had a conspiracy theory that there was an alternative
timeline shift. Well, I will say this: 2 plays later, the Patriots scored a touchdown out of nowhere. So yeah.
I think that was Ramondre's touchdown, wasn't it?
No, that was the first.
That was towards the end of the game, wasn't it?
That was to what's his name? Collins, I think.
Collins, Matt Collins.
Yeah, that's when he went down. Marion saying, I only saw the half streaker. Was there a full-fledged streaker? No, he was a shirtless dude.
Shirtless.
Yeah, he wasn't completely taken on there. But if
I was the casino, if I hadn't paid out yet, if I was the casino, I would have said, "Well, you're not really a streaker because you weren't naked." So that's what I would have said. You weren't actually a streaker.
Yeah, I don't know if man tatas qualify, but
how are you going to get naked on the field? Or you have to have one of those rip-off sweatsuits?
Rip-off basketball.
Yeah, it's been done.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen a Naked Gun or some of these movies where they just go and they're completely naked. They're ready for bed.
Yeah, but I don't think they make those in real life.
Yeah, since it was in Santa Clara, Mike, how much taxes would he have to pay on that payout?
Probably quite a bit.
Yeah.
Or it's San Francisco.
Or did he make the bet in a different city or a state?
Well, sir, between the fines, the casino suing you, and the state of California,
I think he only spent $5,000 on the fine.
You owe them money. Yeah.
Well, but it's San Francisco. You could just say I was celebrating my pride. I can be as naked as I want to be. I don't know. But I did like that they had he had like a GoPro on. So like you can watch the video of him running on there like it's a video game.
I saw it on TikTok.
It's
Well, that's the
compelling
thing. Yeah,
content.
he looks over, he sees his decoy jump, and then he jumps over and runs onto the field. Yeah.
Wild. I don't know. I thought that was pretty interesting. But the game itself was not very interesting. The whole first quarter, the second quarter, it was a little bit of this. I mean, it was puckered up tighter than a nun, fill in the blank. But it was very tense. A lot of teams do tend to kind of restrain themselves when the big game hits. And I was talking to somebody prior to the game on game day, saying, yeah, I'm betting the under because everybody's just so nervous and they don't air it out and they just don't score a lot of points.
Yeah.
I'll start with Mike. I'll go to Jim and then over to Izzy. But that whole first half, let's talk about it. The Seahawks were getting some yards. Patriots weren't doing much, but they were just resulting in field goals.
That's how it felt, Brian. Nervous and edgy. It made me nervous and edgy. I kind of lost my appetite for Regina's delicious food. I just was so nervous because it was only 9-0. And it sucks when you feel like you're dominating and you're only up by a touchdown, less than a touchdown on a field goal. That's nerve wracking. So I found the whole thing nerve wracking, but I should have been more relaxed because the Seahawks were in a lot more control than I actually thought they were. Yeah. But it was like that, and it was basically we don't care if we just get field goals. We're just going to take field goals because I think McDonald. I think that they didn't really. I don't think they believed that the Patriots could really score on them if they didn't want them to. And one of their touchdowns was garbage time. The other one was kind of again a fluky thing coming out of a lack of focus by Tariq Woolen. So. It could have been a shutout easily. So
it almost was.
It was really interesting because they talked about how basically the Seahawks blitzed a lot, but they ran the same blitz basically every time. And I think it was I think it might have been Witherspoon who was the guy that blitzed most of the time on the corner blitz. He said there was a tell that they picked up in the Patriots film that their offensive linemen, they knew when it was a pass and when it was a run based on something about how the offensive linemen set up, and that made it so much easier for them on the defense. But that just shows you again what a ripoff it was that Mike Vrabel is coach of the year and not Mike McDonald, who did such a fantastic job, because that's completely out coaching the other team. I mean, how do you not know? How do you not self-scout and know that your offensive linemen have a tell on whether it's a run or a pass? Because the Seahawks knew it, and I don't know. So that just kind of it irritated me that I knew Vrabel was going to win because he's the East Coast guy, and he got totally dominated and outcoached by Mike McDonald, who should have won it. And I'm not going to complain too much about any of the other awards because JSN got his, but that one gets under my skin because nobody did a better job coaching this year than Mike McDonald. They just didn't. He was fabulous. So
yeah, well, that is an interesting point about like finding the coaching trends and the tactics. They talked about Jim Harbaugh. Was he cheating? Bill Belichick, was he cheating? Are you picking? And then there's also when the Browns made the playoffs 2 years ago. Hard to believe we actually were a playoff team, but we can be again. I think the Seahawks just proved to us have a dominant defense, solid special teams, and a competent offense, and you can go far. Mm-hmm. But when we played the Houston Texans, they figured there were a couple of tells that their coaching staff figured out. In our passing game with Joe Flacco, with Amari Cooper, we couldn't get anything going. We lit them up in the regular season. Yeah. And when it came to the playoffs, we were not able to get anything against them. And they said that there was like a bit of a tell that the coaches figured that out. I'm going to go up to Jim about the betting trends and how Super Bowls are tight in the whole first half. But I got to acknowledge this comment from Kenneth. If a streaker is sued in court, would that then be a birthday suit? Well played. Well played, Kenneth. A birthday suit instead of a lawsuit. Jim, talk about the first quarter, first half.
Yeah, that's. I think the Sean Payton went to school, on the first half of this football game by learning that you win a football game like this, especially a playoff football game, which he lost, was the fact that you kick the field goals instead of going for first down when it's like first and it's 4th and 6. No, you take the points. And we had talked about that Bronco game, and it was against the Patriots, was it not? You go ahead and take those points, and they play overtime. It's 13-13 in that game, and this is exactly what McDonald did. He had the opportunity to put the points on the board And there's some wild ass percentage, like 68%, where if you score the make the first score, in the Super Bowl, you get a 68% chance of winning the game. And it's some outrageous stat like that. But Jason Myers, I mean, he wasn't really solid all year as far as kicking field goals. And Mike was like, he was nervous as a whore in church, when.
Yeah, because he'd missed 2 field goals in that stadium in the last game of the year against the 49ers, easy ones. And one other thing, Jim, is I do understand, according to people that were there, that it was pretty windy in the stadium. So I was like, thank God they didn't tell me that on TV, because that would have been more edgy. But Myers was money.
Yeah, it's a good thing they weren't playing in San Francisco. It's a little windier there on the bay. But Jason Myers, he set a Super Bowl record. He kicked 5 field goals. He had the Super Bowl record.
Yeah.
And not for nothing, he also got the single season scoring record, passing LaDainian Tomlinson.
Wow.
People don't realize that, but Jason Myers scored more points in the season than LaDainian Tomlinson did.
LaDainian Tomlinson.
So it's a new record?
It's a new record, yeah.
NFL record, yeah.
I didn't know that.
And
I mean,
I think
because he broke Morton Anderson's record for most career or season points, right?
Yeah, Morton Anderson's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
But we talked about that last week. Yeah.
Yeah. God, does that mean Jason Myers is a Hall of Famer?
Well, Izzy, let me go to you real quick, because I mean, I think you said it's a boring game in our text thread. We have our group text thread, and of course, if you're up by enough points, it's a happy kind of boring. But I mean, this was almost making a case for a kicker to be MVP of the game. What did you make of the first? We're gonna break this into halves. What did you make of the first half of the game so far?
I mean, the first half was pretty underlying. I mean, if you want to say that, expecting a little bit more from both teams, but I mean, like I said, if it was my team, I'd be nervous as well, because I'm like, all right, we're going down, we're getting a field goal, another field goal, another field goal. I'm like, at any point, they could just blow the top off, go down, score a touchdown, and now they're only down by 2 points, 9-7. And it's like, all right, now what can they do next? So I can understand it from that perspective. But, I mean, generally, just as a football fan wanting to watch the Super Bowl, you want to see a little bit more. And, I mean, the first half, it was all right. But as far as for New England, it was like, what are they doing out there? I understand the Seahawks, they were sending pressure. I think they finally figured it out on how to do it, because earlier this season against some teams, they just wouldn't do it at all. But they figured out how to send pressure, and I mean, just a purely defensive-minded game in the first half. And it got to a point where we kept seeing Drake May drop back, and like his O-line just getting blown up, especially Will Campbell. Oh my God.
Yeah.
We'll talk about him in a bit, but they're just getting blown up. And then the second half came in, and we were like, can we just me and my friends, I'm saying me and my friends, we were watching the game, and we're like, we all want the Seahawks to win. We don't want the Patriots to win, but we were like, we want to see a good game though. So we wanted more entertainment. But I mean, yeah, the Seahawks came out on top. So just put it that way.
Nice cup, Jim. Nice cup.
Yeah, I don't know.
Jim, 1 cup. Yeah, I mean, I understand.
Seahawks fans, 1 cup.
I understand. 2 Seahawks fans, 1 cup. I understand people who weren't fans of the Seahawks saying it was boring. I get it, because it was so defensive and there were a lot of fuss. But
yeah, look up at the scoreboard. Who gives a rat's ass?
You play the game that your opponent.
If
whatever.
you want entertainment, watch the damn commercials.
Yeah.
Would I rather be flashy and lose the game?
The commercials weren't even that good this year neither.
No,
I won't even lie. No.
Okay, well then, before we get to the halftime show, let's ask about the commercials. Did any commercials stand out to you guys? I'll start with Mike. Anything?
No, and you know what? Again, I was so on edge until it went to about 29-7, or the touchdown that went after it was 19-7. We got a field goal to make it 20.
Was that the defensive touchdown?
Yeah, right before that. until it was 22-7, I wasn't really completely relaxed. I wasn't paying attention. I was just, at halftime or in commercials, I grabbed my 12-man flag and marched across Jim's living room with it, and Jim pulled his gun out, threatening to shoot me if I hit his ceiling fan, and
You already did.
that really happened. That did happen. So
You
I
already
was
did hit the ceiling fan.
Yeah, I didn't pay attention.
Ryan, I got 18-foot ceilings, and he figures out how to hit the ceiling fan.
I tapped it. It didn't hit it.
Go
18-foot
gadget
cathedral
arms.
ceiling, and he hits the ceiling fan.
Go gadget arms. How did you hit the 18-foot ceiling fan?
Because his flagpole is 6 feet long. Who the hell walks in somebody's house with a 6-foot flagpole?
Well,
ladies, I got a flag.
They show up at the door, and I'm thinking, holy Christ,
the whole game scores.
Are you in the bag already?
Send out the fat guys with the big flags and run around the field, and that's what I was pretending to be, was the fat guy running around.
Okay, so
I
got a little over enthusiastic.
I think pretend is the operative.
Do I need to buy you a new ceiling fan, Jim? Do I need
no, you didn't. You didn't kill it. If it was on, you would have destroyed it.
Would have been more careful.
Jim, any commercials stood out to you throughout the whole game?
Oh yeah, all of them. I mean, you can tell who's making these commercials. It's still the the liberal film industry making these commercials. They go out of their way to make the Caucasian guys look as stupid as they can. And that's just the theme of all these commercials.
That's true.
I mean, admit it. That's what they're there for.
Izzy had a favorite commercial. I don't know if he cares to talk about it on the show this week, but Izzy, any commercials stand out to you other than that one that you mentioned?
Yeah, the polar bear commercial with Pepsi and Coca-Cola. That one was pretty fun.
What was that one?
It was just a polar bear who was like addicted to Pepsi. I believe it was a pretty good commercial. Yeah. Well, one of those commercials you're like, oh yeah, this is a Super Bowl commercial. Mm-hmm. But every other commercial, I saw a post on X, and it was like, you can see the state of the country a little bit of half the commercials. It's like half of them, there's really no effort put into them. You just got every icon you can know bashed up into one commercial. Yeah. Other ones, half of it's sports betting. The other half is a quarter of it is like medicine, and then another quarter is just just random stuff trying to appeal to people, and it's just not amusing.
What did you think of Ben Affleck? What about the Ben Affleck '90s commercial where they pulled Friends references and
that's
Will Hunting? And I thought that sucked. But
who the hell watches Friends?
Do you even know any of the references? Izzy, in that commercial?
No, not
inside jokes.
I don't think
classics. Signed. Look. I enjoyed that.
Izzy makes my point. A polar bear addicted to cola. I mean, ridiculous.
I did sort of like the Duncan. I think it was Duncan, right, with the '90s stuff and Affleck. But it's also AI slop. It wasn't like the actors.
Yeah, and AI too. Yeah, that was a part of it. Yeah,
it was very AI heavy on the commercials, and they call it just putting slop out there. But I don't know. I chuckled at that one. But even last year, Duncan did that, and it was so cameo heavy. You couldn't even follow the plot. You couldn't even take a chance to laugh at anything because it was just moving too fast, like a Michael Bay edit.
Right.
It was whatever. I guess my favorite commercial was probably the Budweiser one, where there's that duck or that little bird. I'm sorry, they find the little bird and he nurses it, and then it turns into the eagle, and then it's the bald eagle, the American symbol. That was probably the nicest one. Budweiser has some nice.
Well, and there was something weird though that I noticed. I don't know if the other guys noticed, and I mentioned to Jim that after the game was over, there was there was celebration, the award ceremony, all that stuff, and NBC cuts to a commercial, and it's like, and the fans in Seattle are cheering, and there's this group, and it looked like they were around a keg or something, but it was like they're all, and I'm watching it, and I'm like, this is totally AI. This is just a bunch of AI pretend Seahawks fans who weren't really even in Seahawks gear, going like this, like they're cheering, as if they had cut into a real bar and see if you can't just put a fucking camera in a real bar in Seattle. Anyway, go ahead, Izzy. Yeah. It weirded me out how AI it was.
This guy on Twitter, his name is Andrew Solander, got 170,000 likes and 3 million views. He said, my takeaway from the Super Bowl ads is that the entire American economy is being propped up by AI weight loss drugs, cryptocurrency, and gambling.
And don't
I mean
forget
that.
erectile dysfunction.
Yeah, I mean that was most of the commercials in the Super Bowl. So
Yeah, you're exactly right.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, but it weirded me out that they wouldn't actually pay just to put a camera crew in a bar in Seattle and in a bar in in Boston, depending on which team won. No, they cut to this fake AI cheering thing, and I'm just like, what the fuck is that? Is that the future? Is that what we have to look forward to? What? How long is it going to be before the games just become AI? Right? A
I'm
year?
ready for the robot wars. Have Tesla bots out there just battling. I mean, injuries, I guess you could have like repairs, but you go to someone on the bench.
I
Injuries
don't
being the
know. It was
worst part of
disturbing.
sports.
I found it disturbing.
I heard that the one thing they haven't, and you may know this, Mike, the one thing that they haven't perfected is the hands and artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
They're getting better though.
Remember that 60s sci-fi? It lasted 3 seasons, The Invaders?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
remember that? Remember how Roy Finnis could figure out who the
The only tell
invaders
was a
were?
little pinky finger, right?
They
Yeah.
weren't able to bend their pinky
And the
finger.
pinky, yeah.
Yeah, isn't
Yeah.
that a coincidence?
Yeah.
That's fun. We have a saying on the TNAM Daily Show at noon Eastern. Make sure you guys watch it Monday through Friday. But we do a pinkies up cheer. We'll drink our coffee with our pinkies up every time we get a troll.
There you
We
go.
just say pinkies up. It's like our salute to them. It's funny you said that.
Yeah,
so
and then did you see Cardi B tried to give a
Yes,
robot a
lap
lap
dance.
dance and the robot keels over? So, yeah, all the blood rushed to, all the oil rushed to his
all
robot.
the oil rushed. Let me pull this up real quick because now we've kind of got our way up to halftime. And we will talk about Bad Bunny and Turning Point USA, Kid Rock, Robert Ritchie. But let me just play this because I did check. This is true, but I wasn't watching this version. I didn't know this happened. So let's take a look here.
Immediately after Bad Bunny's halftime show at the Super Bowl, a Pro Ice commercial airs.
Their friends and neighbors.
That's
Sons,
diabolical. I love it.
fathers, their little league coaches and veterans.
They're humanizing.
He's got his pinky up.
Oh, everybody has their pinky up. This is
Oh my
hilarious.
God.
Yeah.
But they're talking about these ICE agents. They're humans.
Fathers, their little league
Fathers,
coaches and
coaches,
veterans. They're
veterans.
people who love this country.
ICE
These
agents.
are immigration and customs enforcement officers.
$50,000 signing
They
bonus.
are removing violent criminals from our streets and neighborhoods.
And this aired right after Bad Bunny had a literal migrant caravan show up and cross the border.
$60,000
It's
student debt relief.
dangerous and difficult work.
20%
But
premium pay.
ICE has one mission: to make America a safer place to live, and that's what they're doing. This is law enforcement. This is ICE.
Join that ICE.gov. Follow for
So, I mean, that was pretty interesting. They went with, many people said a woke halftime, and other people said, oh, come on, it's no big deal. You guys are all dancing the Macarena. Mike, talk about
David Band's got a good point.
that it's
That's
all
what
about
we've been
money.
saying all year. The answer to all your questions is money.
Well, and they said they've got as many white people as they could possibly get as clients, as fans of the NFL. The past couple years were Taylor Swift getting the women. Now they're like, we got to go global and get other people. I get it from a marketing standpoint, but I remember when popular, maybe Bad Bunny's popular, but no, I didn't know. I couldn't hum along a single song. I didn't love the Prince halftime show as much as others because I'm not a big Prince fan, but I recognized his hit songs. I didn't recognize a single Bad Bunny hit song, so it was a weird choice for me on that regard.
Well,
But
let me just tell you, Prince is one of the greatest guitar players ever in human history. He is in the top 5 easily.
yes,
Amazing musical talent.
Yeah.
And I liked a lot. I like his hit songs. I liked them just fine. It's not really my style, but he crossed between, soul and rock really, really well. And that guy could rock. And
Oh, yeah.
and so he had tremendous talent. The problem that I have with the rap and the hip hop stuff is that they're not really musicians for the most part. They talk, they don't sing, they don't write their own songs. It's not the same. So I'm just an old guy complaining, And there are a lot of classic rock acts that could have done the Super Bowl that should do it. And I really think it should alternate every year between a modern artist and somebody more old school, because your fan base is half old guys and women and half young people. So you should vary it a little bit. And the thing about it, I did not watch the Bad Bunny thing. It depends on how you calculate the ratings because they changed the way they calculated them. But the reality is they're down on halftime viewers. The TPUSA thing, which I don't like country music, but if a lot of people do. They siphoned off about 6 million viewers. And so the NFL now has competition. So it's going to be interesting to see in terms of the halftime entertainment, whether that's a shot across the bow.
Yeah, you're talking about let's call him who he is, Benito Martinez. Acosta.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, and again, it seems to me you should have an English speaking act in the American Super Bowl because Dave Barra, my brother, said it the best. He said this is the biggest prize in sports. It's bigger than the World Cup. It's bigger than the Champions League. It's bigger than the Premier League. It's bigger than Formula One World Championship. This is the biggest single event. And you're right though, Brian, because when Goodell came in, what they decided is they knew that they got 70% of the male American audience. That was guaranteed, right? And the other 30% of guys are either nerds or gay, and we're never going to get them. So that's when they started marketing to the female audience, which is when you started getting these female sideline reporters, the female hostesses, and you started taking the violence out of the game. I remember about 10 years ago, I heard Roger Goodell going, "I'm committed to getting the violence out of this game," and I'm like, "What the fuck? That's what everybody shows up for is the violence, right?" So, and now they probably like pulled as many females into it as they can, and now they want to try to go international,
Why do you think people watch NASCAR?
I don't know. They like to watch souped up family cars drive around in circles. I don't know. I love IndyCar.
Drinking Mountain Dew and yeah.
So, I don't have much to say about it other than that. If you look at the lyrics translated to English, they're pretty filthy. I do think the halftime should be family entertainment, and it should be an American act, and in English would be ideal too.
No.
And I would like to see them rotate between a modern act and an old school act. And
eventually, though, Mike, he'll get in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because they let everybody in. It's not the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
I'm only down here to let everybody into the Pro Football Hall of Fame these days too. So,
President Trump chimed in on that. He was quoted saying the halftime show was absolutely terrible, one of the worst ever.
Absolutely terrible.
He described it as
worst ever. People say.
A lot of people say. He called it an affront to a lot of the greatness of America.
You're getting better.
Sounded like David Childers doing Trump, Mike.
Yeah, that's how you do Trump. Is you start with David Hatcher Childress and then put a little Mr. Rogers in there, and it
see what I do is I do campaign Trump. I just got you gotta it's a little rumbling, it's a growl.
All right, well, at any rate,
but one more thing that he said, other than that it was a bad the worst ever, an affront to the greatness of America. He complained about the language, dancing, lack of inspiration, but he ended, and by the way, the NFL should immediately replace its ridiculous new kickoff rule. You know what?
Yes.
The kickoff rule's stupid. Isn't it terrible for the game?
Yes.
I can't stand it. Move the kickoff back, force them to come out. Force everyone to return it somewhere.
It's like watching grass grow.
Oh, it's awful.
Look, there have been a lot of returns this year. I don't know that I agree with that. Izzy, I'd like to get you in on this one because I know how Jim feels, but I don't have that much of a problem with this thing, except I do think they ought to allow. They ought to put the onside kick rule back too. You don't have to tell anybody you're doing it. You can change formations and line everybody up on one side if you want to. But, I mean, other than that, there were a lot of returns because of the way they did it. And if it helps reduce injuries, I guess I don't have that much of a problem.
So the onside kick rule, Mike, I mean, your argument is probably when Sean Payton did it. When the Saints won the Super Bowl. I mean, he surprised the shit out of them, at the beginning of the second half.
Yeah.
They lined up and kicked it, or did the onside kick, and they recovered it.
Yeah.
Do you think that they would have recovered it if the other team knew what they were doing?
No.
I'm voting no.
No.
Avery, let me go to you. Is what did you make? What did you do for halftime? Did you watch? What did you do at halftime?
Yeah, I watched like half the halftime show, and then I went to grab some pizza.
Then he peed. Yeah, took a piss.
So you watched
Like every guy in America. It's time to go piss some of that beer
I'll
out.
tell you what we did. Dave Barra grabbed the remote and turned on the puppy bowl.
Yeah.
which I didn't have a problem with. You know.
Yeah, so you watched Bad Bunny. Did you have any thoughts on it?
I mean, it's whatever.
It's
I don't speak Spanish. Towards the second half, my dad called me, and he was like, "Oh, did you see the flags?" Because supposedly he was mentioning all the Latin American flags, and my mom, she's from Nicaragua, so he was like, "Oh, he saw the Nicaraguan flag or whatever." So yeah. Besides that, no, I just watched the first half and just to see it, and then just see what it was about, and then we went to go get some pizza.
Yeah,
down the street.
My experience, I went to Rumble to try to stream it onto the. I had difficulties getting it off of Rumble or YouTube from TPUSA to get it up on the screen. Eventually got it. I didn't really know who the country artists were. I wasn't necessarily paying attention. I was watching it, but I didn't recognize those songs either. Country, like you guys were saying, like I don't listen to country very much. But then Kid Rock came on. Bawataba, that's like the intro that he always uses. But it was interesting. Then it went to like cello is like a transition. He did an outfit change. He came back on and did one more. They introduced him twice. First as Kid Rock and then Robert Ritchie. And they played a really good song. I love the song Till You Can't. And it's essentially a song about like doing things while you still can. Cause like tomorrow's not promised. And I've for a lot of reasons.
Here's the thing for me at the bottom line. Is you watch sports to get away from politics. You watch sports to get away from all of the shit that you deal with all week. And by picking this guy and doing it the way they did it, the NFL made it political. And maybe they just wanted to get the money from the ICE ads. I don't know. But you know what? Pick somebody who's an entertainer that at least, that people that's not controversial and is going to go out there and entertain for 18 minutes because there have been some great halftime shows. And that's what I'd like to see. Is just why make it political when it doesn't need to be? And they did, and that's where I have a problem with it.
Yeah, I just liked Robert Ritchie, Kid Rock's version of Till You Can't. Added a brand new verse about, kind of accepting Jesus into your life while you still can, because you might die. And it just reminded me of, once again, Scott Adams. He converted on his way out. He was dying of his cancer. And like right at the end of his life, he said, "You guys have been reaching out like crazy, asking me to convert." He goes, "I'm kind of been an atheist my whole life." He goes, "Just I'll keep it between me and God, but I did decide to go that path, and I'll keep it between me and Jesus. Hopefully, I'll see you on the other side." But like tomorrow's not promised. And I forgot that I loved that song. It was a Cody Johnson song from 4 years ago. I heard it once or twice because I'm not a country guy. Loved it, and I loved the Kid Rock interpretation. I loved it. It hit me on like a level. Then they had a Charlie Kirk tribute right at the end because you never expect you're going to be saying a phrase and you explode. We could all be gone tomorrow. So anyway, I loved that performance. That particular song was fantastic. Thumbs up, A+ in my book. But yeah, the whole halftime thing is getting interesting. One of my things is, why don't you have San Francisco artists perform? Whether it's Creedence Clearwater, whether it's the Grateful Dead, whether it's Metallica. Come on, why has Metallica never headlined a Super Bowl? That was a perfect chance.
Yeah, that
Metallica from the Bay.
I'm not a big Metallica guy, but I would have been fine with that.
Yeah,
well. And again, I think
that people know.
You had all these old school acts up till Jay-Z comes in, and then you have nothing but rappers and hip hop since then. And it's like, let's change it back and forth and make it not political.
I think they said 0 white guys since Jay-Z took over as well, which is kind of weird. Eminem doing a guest.
What are we going to do? Put Fleetwood Mac out there? I mean, come on,
Well, regardless,
they could at least put Chili Peppers up there.
So. No Fleetwood Mac.
No.
Flea from Chili Peppers. Fleetwood Mac. Anyway, let's talk about the third quarter then. It's a close game. What was the score? Let me check. What was the score exactly at halftime?
9-0.
Thank you, guys. 9-0, and the half's over, and it's way too close for comfort. Patriots come out. They punt the ball after 3 plays, 3 and out. Seahawks go 10 plays down the field, 69 yards, but they stall for a field goal. Mike, pick it up from there. How are you feeling when you go 12-0, but you stalled again with a field goal?
Yeah, it doesn't bother me as long as we keep scoring because it doesn't look to me like the Patriots are really going to score. But I would like more of a margin. You're waiting for that one time you finally get the touchdown to break the game open. Once it gets beyond 15, 16 points, I know the game's over. And so it's okay with me. And again, the thing we didn't really talk about is how great Kenneth Walker ran, and there was he looked we've been waiting for him as Seahawks fans for 4 years now, 3 years at least, for him to really start having this breakout season. And he didn't have a breakout season, but the last 4 or 5 games he really did. He really was amazing.
Probably because Charbonnet got injured.
Yeah, and it's like you know what happened? You look at his carries. He averages 18 or 19 carries a game. He had 27 carries in this game, and had 135 yards, and
won the Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah, and won the Super Bowl MVP. And I mean, there was one play where he got the ball and he comes forward, and what used to drive us nuts, what would drive me nuts, is he always leaves so many yards on the field every game. I mean, like he'd get up there and he'd make the wrong cut. If he'd cut inside instead of outside. Now, look, I'm not on the field, but instinctively great running backs are able to just to see where the flow is and make the cut. And he wasn't good at that. But the last 4 or 5 games, he was. In fact, there was one play where he came up almost to the line of scrimmage. He had the ball in his hand, and he stopped. He stopped and waited, and then he saw the flow, and then he cut, and he had the acceleration to get through the hole, which most of us don't.
Mike, who that reminded me of? Le'Veon Bell. He would he would do like a hop and reevaluate and then take off like a.
Jim said, Barry Sanders was like that. Now Barry Sanders is faster than Ken Walker, but Ken Walker's probably a little more powerful, and just how he let it come to him. And Izzy's right. He's played better since Charbonnet was out. He got more carries. So, 27 carries, 135 yards. You can't complain about that.
So, I know we're talking about the third quarter, but quick question for you, Mike. So, losing offensive coordinator, he's going to Vegas. He's having Ashton Genty in the backfield and possibly Fernando Mendoza. Do you see any comparison between Ashton Genty and Kenneth Walker and Fernando and Sam Darnold? And could he help those two guys?
Well, I saw Genty play live. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. My bad. Yep.
No, I saw Genty play live. Dave and I went to the last game of the year, Kansas City. I saw him and the Raiders, and I saw him play live. He's a different kind of back than Walker.
Oh.
Mike has a thing where, hang on, let me ask Mike. This happens often. Mike, how did your feed drops and immediately bounces back on? Is that your internet connection? What is the?
Yeah, it's Cox Cable.
Welcome to Cox Cable.
Yeah. I can't wait to switch to the Google Fiber next summer. But he's a different style of back, but Kubiak will find a way to make use of him. And I mean, the thing is, the design of the Seahawks offense, like I said, I have no problem with it whatsoever. It's just a question of if you get a good quarterback in there, Kubiak will get the most out of those guys. He's got 2 good tight ends. He's got
Michael Mayer and Brock Bowers.
Mike Mayer and Brock Bowers. They both have MM and BB. They're terrific players. Jenny's a terrific player. Go get a receiver. I know if the Seahawks let Rashid Shaheed get to free agency, if they let that happen, the Raiders are going to grab him. So I hope it doesn't happen. And Kubiak will make good use of those guys, and it just depends on what quarterback comes in. I mean, there's
me personally. I mean, like they should trade back and sign either trade for Mac Jones, sign a quarterback that's like sitting back up somewhere, see what they do, and if they don't do bad, wait till the next QB draft, and then this year they could go out, get a receiver, get some O-linemen in the first round, and possibly have another first round pick the next year. So I mean that's how I go about it. But
well, I mean the argument is that a lot of people don't think Mendoza's that good, and if you really don't think he's that good, I could see a guy like Kubiak making really good use of somebody like Mac Jones, because
Yeah, exactly.
his offensive designs are not based on a running, scrambling quarterback. Because Sam Darnold certainly didn't.
Nope.
Didn't do that. So, yeah.
I think Mendoza has the it factor. I
Could
watched him
be.
in that Penn State game. I watched him spin and get when someone goes when someone goes beast mode. How about that? We'll use a Marshawn reference. When you can go beast mode, iconic mode, I don't know. I don't think you can pass those people up. Those are almost people just touched by the finger of God. Like they're just
Well,
gonna.
and the thing is, I don't know for sure that Lamar is off the table for being traded yet either. We don't know that.
And Max Crosby, didn't he say? Didn't he tell Tom Brady that he's never playing another game as a Raider?
That's
I
what
mean, you could take that.
Miles Garrett told the Browns that too. So I mean, a lot of people.
that's what they say he told.
But
Tom
I mean, the Browns are different than the
But
Raiders.
Kubiak also said the first guy who called him was Max Crosby. So I
Oh, okay.
don't know what that means. But I mean, you could trade number 1 overall and Max Crosby to the Ravens and get Lamar back and 14. I would think. And so you're sitting at 14, like you say, Izzy, you draft an offensive lineman or a wide receiver at 14.
Yep.
You spend that $100 million on a couple of offensive linemen to try to improve the line, and you get Lamar. Don't kid yourself. I mean, the Raiders could make a big leap next year.
Yeah.
Because he's a smart, modern coach, unlike his predecessor at it's Las Vegas here. So we'll see.
Yep.
We'll see.
Jim, let me go over to you in that third quarter. What you noticed after they came out for halftime and picked that field goal? Like, what were you taking away in that third quarter as it moved?
Well, going into the third quarter, the Seahawks had 0 penalties going into the third quarter in that game.
That was crazy. Yeah,
which was real important. Mike and I were, the way Walker was playing, Mike and I had pretty much already cast our vote that Walker was going to get MVP in that game.
Yeah.
And he did. And just a good stat, Walker was the first running back since Terrell Davis to get MVP in a football game in the Super Bowl. And that was, I think, back in 1999 when he played with Elway. That's why Elway won his last 2 Super Bowls. Because
Terrell Davis.
Terrell Davis is a running back.
Terrell, by the way, Jim. Just as it's Tyrod, not Tyrod. It's Terrell, not Terrell.
Terrell, and it's Terrell Davis and Terrell Owens.
Yeah, Terrell Davis.
Spelled the same way. But
Terrell Davis carried John Elway to those 2 Super Bowls. He literally did on his back.
but remember how great all of those running backs were for like 15 years in Denver with that.
Here's another thing too. I think only 7 running backs have won Most Valuable Player in the Super Bowl. All 7 are in. Well, 6 of the 7. The first 6 are in the Hall of Fame. So that's
what's that stat, Mike?
That of all the I believe 7 running backs have now won Super Bowl MVP, and the first 6 are all in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
that's pretty incredible.
Yeah, but he's the first running back to be MVP since
in 25 years.
Terrell Davis.
Yeah,
Terrell Davis. Yeah. Another interesting thing. Sam Darnold had no turnovers at all in the Super Bowl.
Wasn't it the whole postseason?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's true.
Well, the whole postseason, he had 700 yards and 5 touchdowns, no interceptions in the playoffs.
Wow. And Minneapolis got rid of him for JJ.
And he had 202 yards in the Super Bowl. Now there were 4 quarterbacks with no turnovers in the Super Bowl in NFL history.
Hold on, wait. 4 quarterbacks only.
4 quarterbacks with no turnovers in the Super Bowl
for winning and losing teams.
Yeah.
Anybody want to take a stab at who they were?
Peyton Manning,
Patrick Mahomes.
Who?
Patrick Mahomes.
No, not at all. I'll give you a hint. Troy Aikman.
That's your boy.
Who won 3 Super Bowls. Steve Young, no turnovers in his Super Bowl.
Chargers, yeah.
Drew Brees, no turnovers in his Super Bowl with the Saints. And number 4 is Sam Darnold.
Well, and Sam Darnold had no turnovers in the entire postseason, which has never been done before.
Right.
No fumbles, no interceptions. So,
No interceptions.
rip on Sam all you want. Apparently, there's some Seahawks wearing a T-shirt today that was like an illustration of Sam Darnold smoking his cigar and flipping everybody off.
Well, they may make some references, Sam Darnold, to everybody here who's old enough to remember the '85 Bears. No one ever talks about Jim McMahon. All they talk about is the Bears defense and Buddy Ryan, being the coach of the Chicago Bears. Not Mike Ditka, Buddy Ryan.
By the way, 8 running backs won Super Bowl MVP. Larry Zonka, Franco Harris, John Riggins, Marcus Allen, Otis Anderson, Emmitt Smith, Terrell Davis, and Kenneth Walker.
And it was 8. It's 8, not 7. And Walker is the 8th, and the first 7 guys are all in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, but the last one to do it was Terrell Davis.
Well, I know.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with that, Jim.
Yeah.
Izzy, let me ask you this question. David says the Super Bowl was really between the Seahawks and the Rams. I think I heard you say something like that on last week's show. I mean, these were the 2 best teams, obviously.
I was going to curse for the first time on the show, or second, I don't know, but yeah, I mean, duh. I mean, as much as you want to say it, Drake May and the Patriots, like they call him like the Drake May, Drake the schedule May. I mean, all the teams he played against, the backup quarterbacks he played against, and even in the AFC Championship, he played up against a backup quarterback. It shows a level of competition and the difference between the 2 teams. The Seahawks played in the hardest division this year. 3 teams won 10 games in the NFC West. They played against the Rams 3 times this year, and of course, they came out on top in the NFC Championship, but it just shows the level of competition compared to the 2 teams. I think anyone with a brain who watched both teams play and see the strength of schedule and the opponents they played, I mean, it's pretty obvious who's going to come out on top. And that's why I said put the house on the Seahawks, no matter what.
Yeah, and you were right.
That's simple.
Right. And the thing is, there were people who said, "Oh, the Patriots, they're." How do you argue with it? They're 17-3 coming in. They're great, and the other argument is that they haven't fought anybody, they haven't played anybody, and there was a great light heavyweight champion, Bob Foster, in the late 1970s. He fought Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier also, and he was fighting a white kid named Mike Quarry. Well, Mike Quarry was 40-0. At one point, and there were people saying, "Oh, well, Mike Quarry is going to beat Bob Foster." And they asked Foster, "Well, why do you think?" Foster said, "Oh, he's no good. I'm gonna knock him out." And they said, asked him, "Well, why do you? Well, how is he 40-0 then?" And he said, "Because he hasn't fought anybody." So this is, I just want to share this, Brian. This is what happened when Bob Foster fought Mike Quarry, Mr. 40-0. Yeah, here we go.
I don't think Foster liked it.
Might get us on the audio. But there he goes down. Because it wasn't.
Left hook.
That's the best one-punch knockout I think I ever saw.
I did watch that recently. Did you show that recently? I just watched it.
Yeah, I've shown it before.
That was Jerry.
Jerry Quarry was his older brother. He was a famous heavyweight who got demolished by Ali and Frazier and all those guys. So yeah, it was. I mean, it's like what really hit with Drake May was just that he had not seen the kinds of things that were being thrown at him. So, he's a good player. He's going to probably play in this game again and maybe win it. He's got all the characteristics you want. But the other thing, too, and I want to ask you guys, Brian, and Iz especially, they say he took an injection before the game. So I got a feeling his shoulder was worse than people thought.
I mean, when we watched the game, did we watch him pushing it down the field with confidence, with success?
Hardly ever, yeah.
I mean, yeah, he didn't throw it down that much, but I mean, each time he dropped back, and it seemed that he didn't have that much pressure like he usually did. It seems that he's It's like, say if you told Justin Fields, "Hey, you're running the ball too much. Maybe just sit in there, go through your reads, and try to make the quarterback play." Like if you were to scroll out, step up in the pocket, you're throwing the ball at the line of scrimmage. that seemed what he was doing. It seemed that he wasn't confident enough to go run the football like he usually did. I mean, that technically, in my opinion, that's what got him in the NFL. Of course, his arm talent, it's
Yeah.
out of this
Well,
world, and his frame's out of this world, but he can run the ball too. And each time I see him drop back, I'm like, all right, you're not getting pressured this time. It doesn't seem that anyone's open. Why don't you just use your legs and take off? I think it was the third or fourth quarter he finally did that and got like a 20-yard gain. And it's like, why haven't you done this all game? So,
Well, the thing is, like, I remember the first couple of drives, all of his passes were very short or lateral, like, screens and short stuff. And when I saw that, I said to myself, either he can't throw it downfield or they're afraid to throw it downfield against the Seahawks secondary. And so I kind of knew early on that their game plan was going to be very tight and conservative. So
three turnovers, and he was sacked 6 times during the game.
Yeah.
Do we get into Will Howard? Will
Campbell.
I'm thinking of the Buckeyes championship quarterback on the Steelers.
I'd like to ask one other thing. The Uchenna Nwosu touchdown, the defensive touchdown that made it 29-7. That's a fumble and a touchdown. To me, that's a sack and a forced fumble and a touchdown. They took that away because it would have been a record-setting sack. They called it an interception, and we've watched the play. The rule, I thought, was the ball, you have to come forward with the ball. Your arm has to be coming forward with the ball in your hand, in your control. Because what they're basically saying is if Nwosu hadn't caught it in midair, it would have been an incomplete pass. And I thought that was a fumble clear as day. What did you think?
Yeah, a fumble. Yeah.
And they called it an interception, and I don't get that.
Jim, fumble or interception?
Fumble.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it worked out either way. It's like at this point, who cares? But yeah, I mean, there is from the tuck rule to some of these weird plays. I watched an interview with Joe Flacco. I think it was on Media Row for Super Bowl week, and he was talking about how they've taken the violence out of the game and how if you get slapped in the head, that shouldn't deter. Like these are massive, game-changing 15-yard penalties, first down on third. Flacco is just like, this is not what the game is supposed to be being taken.
I'd say the refs were pretty lenient this game. I won't lie. Wasn't there a part where Stephon Diggs had like a little altercation with a Seahawks player? Seahawks player threw like a slap or a punch at him, and the ref saw it clear as day, no flag. So I think
that's
the
right
whole
where
time.
the Seahawks, where Tariq Woolen again lost focus and got burned for a touchdown 2 plays later.
I don't understand how that happens. The dude ran a 4.3 and he's 6'4". I don't understand how he just gets the ball thrown over him, but
he sucks.
It's just funny. But yeah, besides that, Will Campbell earlier this year, he said he made a quote. I think he was in college right before the draft. He was like, "Oh, Will Campbell, how are you so good? This and that." He was like, if I give up a sack every game, then I'll be working at Amazon." And it was something like that. He was like, that's why I don't get any sacks, this and that. And people, they're using that clip against him now because the whole playoffs, I mean, he's been butt. And he came in and he said, no excuses, this and that. And then after the Super Bowl, he's like, yeah, I was playing on a torn ACL the whole time. I really wasn't feeling myself, this and that. And the coaching staff, the question was, are you guys going to move in the guard? That was a question throughout his whole NFL draft combine because he's on the shorter end. I think he's 6'4" or something like that. His arms are his wing. I think his ape index is smaller than his height. So at tackle,
yeah,
exactly. At tackle, that doesn't help him out at all. And we saw it this year. And the question was, are you going to move in the guard? Which he'd probably be really good because he's a good pass protector. And Mike Vrabel said, "Oh, our guy's 22. He's a rookie. We shouldn't give him that much heat." But I mean, it's a genuine question. I mean, but
yeah, it's
whatever you believe is.
I mean, this Seahawks defense was not a buzzsaw like 2013 was, but it was.
Really good.
They were a buzzsaw. Man, they were good.
It's a top 10, I think, all-time defense somewhere in there. I don't know where they rank, but they just smothered teams. But they had a lot of guys that could create pressure, and it was just really unfair. The criticism of Campbell is kind of unfair, I think. And
yeah, a little bit. I mean, he is a rookie.
Yeah,
I
guys.
mean, I mean, he shouldn't have those crazy high expectations as a rookie, but yeah,
You
you
know,
could
I
say
mean,
that.
if you look at somebody like Byron Murphy, the defensive tackle for the Seahawks, he was absolute shit garbage as a
I
rookie.
remember that.
And but you know, he was playing with a bad hamstring, and I think that now looking back on it, McDonald's coaching and probably the fact that he was healthy this year gave him that little extra quickness. I mean, he was a wrecking ball out there. He was really hard for people to handle. Right up in that Super Bowl game, he's a guy that I was very critical of and played fantastic. So players can improve, right? Players can get better, and
Development.
I
Yep.
just think I think Campbell's taken more heat than he deserved. I mean, he got taken advantage of. But did you see when Riley Mills, the backup, the fourth round pick from Notre Dame, shoves the center right back into Drake May and tackles them both? I
Yeah,
mean,
one arm.
that's just
That's the
that's
stuff that happens in Madden. Like I'll play Madden and a person
But
comes through one arm and grabs him.
that's an offensive lineman who hasn't spent enough time in their weight room. You know,
but having played defensive end, I got to say, a lot of this is setting the guy up. You can do a stunt and you do an X out. You'll take your tight end or your tackle and you go hit their outer shoulder and you drive them out so your inside backer can go in on a stunt. You can do a dart in, which collapses and it allows the open end to be left open. You get them and then you go in, you hook them with the elbow and spin. Izzy, I know I've shown you this hook move, spin move 100 times. But you trick them, you hook them, you spin, and you're wide open. Then when they're confused, is he going left?
Dog.
Is he going to flip? Then when that happens, you get inside their head and you just give them a bull rush. They're looking left and right and they're flat-footed, and you just get to crush them. Some of that is set up from the many previous downs, previous plays throughout the course of the game. So, yeah, I mean, I just saw a guy that got worked on that play. But it was great defense. You know, like I don't know that he sucks any more than it was great defense stopping him. So,
And one player who I do believe showed up that day for work, ready for his contract extension, hopefully with the franchise next year, Christian Gonzalez. I mean, he played tremendous. If the Seahawks were to find any kind of way to win, I mean, he probably would have won Super Bowl MVP for that side. He had I think he had 5 pass breakups that game, 3 that were possible touchdowns.
Yeah.
One towards the end of the second quarter, JSN ran like a deep slant, mid post, whatever you want to call it. He just came in and two-handed batted down, almost intercepted if he kept his hands on it. And then another one with Shaheed full stride. He just full extension, one hand and batted it.
He made those plays. You give him credit, but both of those balls were underthrown, and they were both touchdowns. And I know
Okay, yeah, the JSN one was a little bit underthrown. Jason had to stop.
Those would have been touchdowns because they were poor throws by Sam, and who did not have a great game, but had a good enough game. And you know, he was beat on both of those, but great. You know, there's plenty of times when Richard Sherman looked beat and caught back up to the play. So
I mean, yeah, he's a tall, speedy, lanky guy that can do that. So.
He's a good player. I'd love
we're
to have
him. We're talking about the quarterback play, Jim, and we're going to wrap this up here in a moment. But Sam Darnold, out of the quarterback class of Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson, I don't know that anybody would have suspected Sam Darnold gets the first championship, but here we are.
No, that would be
by that.
Yeah, if there was such a thing as a futures bet on that, I mean, that would have been a huge payout. That would have been a 60-1 payout.
And I asked Mike on social media. He replied, but I want to get your thoughts. Who do you think will be the next quarterback, not named Sam Darnold, from that quarterback class to get a Super Bowl championship? Baker Mayfield, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. If any.
Josh.
You got to go with Josh Allen because
I'm taking Lamar.
That organization is. I think they're going to. You know, they're in the middle of retooling the Buffalo Bills. You know, they started at the top with the head coach. And, you know, Josh Allen is I don't think he is snake bit in the playoffs, but I don't think it's his fault. You know, it's of no fault of his. It's the scheme of the game and the way that game is played. And and I think Lamar Jackson, I think that whole thing is in his head.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh yeah, 100%. I agree on both of those.
Yeah, I think he's Lamar Jackson's not a head case, but once he gets on that big stage, you can pretty much pull an Izzy and take your mortgage and go down and put it on the
Yep.
other.
I mean, I think in both their cases, in order to get over the hump, they both need either a change of scenery or a new coach. They're both going to get new coaches this year.
Right.
And
Yep.
Lamar could still get a change of scenery. I mean, I don't know what the Ravens are thinking, but they could be thinking we don't want to pay this salary anymore. Or we can go get the Raiders, because Tom Brady, again, don't forget, Tom Brady was all over Clint Kubiak in the NFC Championship game, so you knew he was going to get hired. Tom Brady's also been all over Lamar Jackson the last 4 or 5 weeks of the season.
Yeah, Tom Brady's been glazing Lamar Jackson ever since he
how
left. So.
unfair the criticism of Lamar is. So I think the Raiders make the call at the very least.
I was gonna say my input on both those guys is Lamar. Yeah, I do. Yeah, it is in his head a little bit with his offensive core. I mean, Mark Andrews sold the team how many times in the playoffs? I mean, you can say that, but also his receivers he's throwing to. I mean, his first year he won MVP. None of those guys are in the league anymore.
Yeah.
None of the receivers are, and his wide receiver one is 5'10", 5'11", pretty short. But the biggest thing I got with Josh Allen is his supporting cast. All he has is James Cook in the background, and no wide receiver one. They just got Gabe Davis back, and he got injured, and they had 3 receivers play that Denver Broncos game. Of course, yeah, change of scenery for both guys is going to be great, but the biggest thing Josh Allen needs is a definitive wide receiver one, like how he had with Stephon Diggs. And just a guy you can rely on getting the ball to, and hopefully they could go out and get that this year. And as far as Lamar, we could see what happens with him and his head coach. So.
Well, let me take this last question, and we'll wrap it up after this question. Yes, Lake Leon saying Brian wants somebody to name Baker Mayfield, but you guys say Josh Allen, you say Lamar Jackson, I say
I don't
Baker.
see it happening with the Bucks.
I do.
Maybe. I'm not saying he's bad. It's just, you seen what he's had. Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, and Bucky Irvin back there. Of course, they've been banged up, but the year before, they were healthy. So much you could do.
I think he's got a chance. But this is the final question. I'll wrap this one up with. Okay, the Browns have the ability to have a dominant defense. With Miles, the 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, the only other.
Where'd the Browns come from?
Defensive player. Well,
that's.
Here's why I'm asking.
We're talking about the Super Bowl and then the Browns coming to the
question. We haven't talked about the Cowboys yet either. Look, Brian, if you put the Cowboys offense with the Browns defense, you're winning the Super Bowl. But
true. Okay, but here's what I'm asking. If we can get top-notch play out of our defense, and we can how far guys tell me, how far away are the Browns if we can
don't y'all already have top-notch defense?
Dominant defense and get some sort of decent to good offense. How far away are we legitimate? I don't think we're as far away as some people think. We were a playoff team 2 years ago. Guys, talk me.
All right, I got you. Kevin Stefanski's gone. That was my biggest ache of the year. I kept talking about Kevin Stefanski. Jim's saying he wants to watch grass grow instead. But you got Shadur this year. You guys need a receiver in the O-line, and you're talking about your defense. Your defense has been top 5 for the past 2-3 years with Myles Garrett. Yes. I don't know how much better that defense can get. Really, realistically, you got Carson Schlesinger, Mason Graham. You still have Denzel Ward back there. What else do you want the defense to do that the offense doesn't have to do?
Well, of course, mainly our problem is just inconsistent special teams and offense. So Mike and Jim, how far away is it to just kind of solidify, get a real wide receiver one, revamp an offensive line? You have some playmakers. How far away? Do we have hope? I know you guys are a better franchise than us, but it's based on
maybe in 4 years, Brian. I'll give you 4 years for that rebuild.
No, not until you get the right quarterback. And
exactly.
Sam is not a world beater, but he's proven he's top 10. Right now, he's probably top 5 in the league with the way he played in the playoffs.
Oh yeah.
You got to get a quarterback that good. You got to get a Baker Mayfield level quarterback, and you don't have that right now. Shitter has some potential. We'll see how it
You
evolves.
had it at one time.
Yeah, but you got to get the quarterback. Once you have the quarterback and you have some good offensive coaches, yeah. But do you have that? That's what you got to ask yourself.
Well, what we brought in was Todd Monken. We brought in the Ravens staff, like they're supposed to be offensive, way better than Stefanski allegedly. So I don't know.
Ravens are not trading Lamar to the Browns. I'm just going to tell you.
And then talking about a future for the NFL draft, the Rams kind of got lucky. Of course, they wouldn't have drafted him, but defensive end James Pierce Jr. he got arrested during Super Bowl weekend. I think he got like a felony count of stalking, aggravated assault, and something else. The whole situation.
Run a cop over.
Yeah. Whole situation. His girlfriend, she's WNBA player for the Sparks. She cut ties with him, and he was like, hey, just trying to rekindle something. He tried calling her on a new phone, followed her to the police station because I'm guessing she was going to go there for safety. Cops tried stopping him there. The altercation. He got out the car, got back in, ran over a cop, and then they took him over. Well, he hit a cop, not ran over, but they took him in. And but what I'm trying to say is the Rams, they traded their first round pick last year. They got the Falcons this year, and the Falcons, they used that pick on James Pierce. And the Rams got 2 first round picks, I think the top 15, and their pick. So
money well spent.
Yeah.
I mean the Rams. They're just getting better too. So.
Well, and then Darren Lee jailed in on a murder charge, first round pick from the Jets from Ohio State. That's a bad case. Anyway, let's end on a positive note here, fellas. Congratulations, Mike.
Yeah, congrats,
Jim. Izzy and I, we're in rebuild mode with the Cowboys and the Browns, trying to figure it out.
Yeah,
rebuild mode. I'm ready for the Dodgers to go out and win another World Series this year. It's baseball season, man.
Yeah.
Jim, pull up the grass.
We're the only
watching grass grow.
We're the only fan base in the league that doesn't have to say wait till next year. We don't.
Congratulations.
Exactly.
Great. And I'm going to be smiling until the season starts, and even then, I got a smile on my face for a year because even if we get knocked out of the playoffs next year or something, it doesn't matter. We just won a Super Bowl. So
you get to see the Super Bowl in your lifetime. I hope the Cowboys could do that one day.
Yeah.
We could go to an AFC championship game for the first time in 40 years.
Yeah.
By the way, I would be definitely open to do it, not next week, like whatever, but sometime in the next 4 weeks, 5-6 weeks, do maybe a draft preview show.
Yeah, I think it sounds fun.
Yeah, I'm high on draft picks. I know a lot about them each year, so I'd be fine with that.
Great because then we'll see. The free agency's over in about 2 weeks now, so we'll kind of know where all of our teams are at and what they still need heading into the draft. So that sounds
Where
great.
are we at with free agency? Like players they're not signing with.
No, the league year starts in March, so we have the combine this month in a week or so. We have the combine, and then the next thing is the league new year starts. I think second week in March is usually when it starts, and then the build up to the draft. So there we are.
All right. Well, then we will definitely come back. We'll talk some NFL draft. Probably free. We'll do a free agent. Got to do free agency because there's gonna be so much wheeling and dealing then.
I just said we do everything after the combine.
Yeah. Okay.
We could do a free agent frenzy live stream if you want to do that. And I'm not in the hospital for a change or something. I'll come on and we can just chat about as the news comes in. Right.
That works for me. All right, Jim, leave us with a fantastic quote, sir.
Well, to sum up the season, Benjamin Disraeli once said, who was the Prime Minister of Great Britain, there are lies, there are damn lies, and there are statistics.
Okay.
And you are the mathematical man. Jim has been giving
us
statistics, all of the NFL betting trends this year and last. So make sure you stay tuned for Strictly Football as we continue post Super Bowl. Congratulations, fellas. But yeah, by the way, make sure Mike, have you been doing Toxically Masculine Tuesday? I thought
I've been sick the last 2. Yesterday, I had to go to the dentist. I had to be sedated, and I was a zombie, so there was no way I could host it. And the previous week, I was not feeling well. So
okay. Well, normally everybody check out Toxically Masculine Tuesday.
Yeah, and then tonight, I'm scheduled to be on Whiskey and Wisdom tonight with the original Mark Z on his channel at about 5 Pacific, but we'll see.
We'll see. But also check out your Wi-Fi. Tell everybody again about your Wi-Fi.
Oh yeah, the Wi-Files, the basement interview with the Wi-Files. Go to the WHY Wi-Files channel on YouTube. 5.5 million subscribers and 1 million views so far, and that's really fucking exciting. So hopefully I'll get some more gigs out of this. We'll see.
Absolutely. Izzy had a fun time watching. Izzy, tell people what they're going to tune into. Give a quick advertisement.
You're going to tune into a whole new world. That's what you're going to tune into. So
a whole new
watch
world.
it, and you'll find out.
If you don't learn from history, you're doomed to repeat.
Exactly. All right, fellas, thank you so much for being here. We'll be back around combine time so we can do free agent frenzy, and then our not too early. It's probably right about time to see some wheeling and dealing with the draft picks coming up. So stay tuned on Strictly Football as we continue and follow the New American Media in all of the places. Thank you, everybody, for a great season. Signing out on behalf of everybody out there in the TNAM universe. I appreciate you. I love you. We'll talk to you again soon. Take care, everybody.
Yep, peace.
Deuces.
Hi, this is Eric Metcalf, and you're watching Unhappy Hour.
The New American Media is proud to present a division of the Unhappy Hour sports show, Strictly Football.
It's the